Robbers attacked a fisherman's hut. Once they saw what was inside, it was already too late to run. This story belongs to an elderly man named Charles Morris who had recently moved to Oregon. After continuously working for 15 years, his health was giving up in fast pace. He had severe cough, shortness of breath and high blood pressure that were making his survival difficult. No matter the various amounts of medications and examinations he went through, nothing was working. One day a physician advised him to migrate to a place that has cleaner and fresher air. He was lumberyard keeper who fell in love with the nature there. He started spending his most of the time fishing and being nearby the lake. The landscape became fascinating in winters when it got enveloped with snow. One fine day when he was returning back from shopping on his snowmobile, he witnessed a small gray beast. He started following the small prints which led him to the bushes and later approached near it, where he found a little wolf cub who was watching him with his beady eyes. Mr. Morris tried his best to communicate with him and to be friends with him. After a while the cub suddenly climbed up near his paws and started wiggling his black nose. When Mr. Morris turned around and saw the bag of groceries, he understood what the wolf needed. He took out a folding knife and cut a piece of meat for the wolf cub. The cub accepted the treat, and after having enough of the meat he approached the man fearlessly. Mr. Morris decided not to abandon him in the woods and took the animal along with him to his home. The unfamiliar odor which came from the old man's home initially made him reluctant to enter the house. But soon he cleaned himself up by shaking himself and decided to approach the doorstep. The man named him Lord, and finally he had a company at home with him now. The cub warmed himself up in the heat, he had a piece of meat and dozed off near the fireplace. After a week, when the weather was stable, the cub begged to go outside of the house. After which he decided to flee into the woods. However, to his surprise, the wild predator after 2 days showed up again. He was fishing near the lake when he saw the cub approaching him. He twisted, turned and licked the old man, and after which his visits began to be periodic. One day it was time for his usual visit, but he wasn't alone, he had a guest with him. The old man's assumption told him that it seemed to be his mother. She came around with him but never caused any trouble to the man. His friendship with the wolf family remained a secret. As time passed on, Lord began to grow into a mature teenage wolf. It was one nice chilly evening when the man was cleaning his house and suddenly he heard a loud howl outside the window. When he opened his door, he saw his wolf family howling, looking high in the sky. To his surprise, Lord rejected his offer to home and disappeared with his mother after a minute. While wondering why he would reject his offer, he forgot the keys in the keyhole while shutting back the door. While being careless to his safety, he was unable to notice 3 men approaching his house. They opened the door and entered without any warning. Mr. Morris, on encountering them, asked, "Who are you, and what do you want?" They were heavily armed, which frightened the old man immensely. They replied, "All right, old man, we need to eat and warm ourselves up, and if you do as we say you'll live." Little to their expectations, they weren't expecting the old man to be a brave man. He was no coward and decided to give them a punch with his fist. But since they were in majority and stronger, they managed to knock him down on the floor and tied him up. At that moment Lord appeared in the doorway and with a furious snarl attacked the robbers. They were confused and astonished by his strike. The boss among them took immediate action and decided to shoot Lord. He got wounded yet still refused to leave the ankle of the man. There was rapid flow of blood from his body which indicated he was severely hurt. While wondering why the wolf was there, one of the robbers looked towards the door and shivers ran down his spine. The mother of Lord was there looking furiously at them. She was there for his son and his friend. The robbers started trying to run away from the scene, but the wolf wasn't going to allow that to happen. As soon as Mr. Morris managed to escape from their trap, he first gave treatment to the wounded wolf. The robbers shouted in fear, "Let us go, we escaped from prison and don't want to return there, let us go, we will never return back again. Have some mercy, please." Mr. Morris was firm in his decision and called the police immediately. They got arrested and were taken to the police station. Mr. Morris tried his best to do anything for the wolf to help him survive. However, 3 days later Lord had passed away. The mother wolf gave up eating and drinking, which deteriorated her health. The mother couldn't bear the separation and passed away after 5 days of her baby's demise. Mr. Morris buried the wolf family near the house, which offered excellent view of woods where they loved to hunt. The old man often felt nostalgic while remembering how Lord repaid him at the cost of his life by saving his.